Hello, fellow English students. Welcome to English Language with Teacher Nick. I'm Teacher Nick. I'm so happy you could join me. On this channel, I talk about the time between beginner level of learning English and the intermediate level of learning English. A lot of students say that it starts to slow down. Learning English is harder than it was before. If you feel this way, you are not alone. This slowdown is because you are trying to just remember all of English. Think of it like packing all of English into just one box until there is too much to go into that box. The mind will take time to make more boxes and repack English so that it can remember more faster. This repacking English is known as learning to think in English. Once you think in English, you don't have to remember all of it. If you learn the word hello is from an old English word hal, which means full of stomach, full of life, full of mind, full of family, all of it. Then you learn all of these words are from the same word, and your mind now has a new way to repack English and make connections. You will learn more vocabulary and learn it faster, much faster. Before I talk about the great roots that will get you started learning that vocabulary in a new way, take a minute to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss my next lesson. What is a word root? Word root means one of two things, and we talk about both things at the same time. To first understand this, let's think of a tree. The top of the tree are the branches. Branches do this. That's what branch means. So my hand will branch into fingers. That is one way to use the word branch, and it comes from the idea of a tree. The bottom of the tree is the roots. The roots are at the bottom, and it's where something comes from, and they also hold into the earth. All of these things might be part of the roots of the tree. Word roots can mean one of two things. One thing is that a word can be in three different parts. There is a beginning part, there's a middle part, and there's an end part. The middle part would be the root because it holds the word together and it's the real meaning of the word. And the beginning part is called a prefix and the end part is called a suffix. You should be able to break words into their root, their prefix, and their suffix. Another meaning is, where did the word come from? Did it come from a different language? Is it from Old English? The word will grow into other words over time as people use it differently in different places or for different reasons. Think of the word that we talked about before. Hal, Old English, goes to mean hello, holy, whole, health, healthy, and hail. In this way, the Old English word how can be said to be the root of the modern English words whole and healthy. The same way, we can say that whole and healthy are modern English branches off of the original Old English root word how. A root is also the center of the word that we might add a suffix or a prefix. You have already learned to use suffixes to change the tense of the verb. If you take the verb to walk, if we want to say it in past tense, we would say walked. If we want to make it any of a number of continuous tenses, we would add the suffix ing. Suffixes can also change the part of speech of a word. In fact, using the ed on a verb can very often make it into an adjective. If the verb takes a direct object, for instance, I walk the dog, then the dog is walked. That means I have already walked the dog. The dog has already been walked. That is a walked dog. So in this way, walked becomes an adjective because it's talking about a noun. Suffixes can be used to change the part of speech or change the verb tense. For now, we're going to talk about prefixes. Prefixes are very important to understand because even as we use a prefix to change the root word in a word that we might find in the dictionary, we use the prefix un to change the adjective happy into unhappy, which is then sad. We can add that prefix un onto any other word that we want to say not. That's very unteacher-like of me to do that. Unteacher-like is not going to be found in the dictionary, but English speakers very often feel comfortable using prefixes that we all understand what they mean to change any words that we have in play. So let's get right into the prefixes of today. Very important to learn to count in your prefixes. Uni, bi, tri. Uni is 1, bi is 2, and tri is 3. Mono is also 1 and di is also 2. Uni and mono come from different languages, but as an English prefix, they mean the same thing. Uni means 1 and mono means 1. They both mean the same also. Uniform is what all the people wear who have to wear the same clothes. Uniform means everyone wears the same clothes. Everyone follows the same form. One form is uniform. Mono is also used as one or the same. I am speaking in different tones. I might talk up in a high tone. I might talk low in a low tone. If I use one tone, it's called monotone, and you shouldn't talk like this if you want to keep people. That is monotone. We don't want to speak in a monotone on YouTube or in life. Don't be monotonous, meaning don't just speak in a monotone. That's one tone. Change your tones when you speak the language. Bi and di are both 2. They both can mean different also. Di means different. Bi more often just means 2. This is a unicycle. How many wheels does a unicycle have? A unicycle has 1 wheel. Cycle is the wheel and uni is 1. What is this? Well, you know that's a bicycle. A bicycle has 2 wheels. Bicycle. What's this? Of course, you know it's a tricycle. A tricycle has 3 wheels. What is this? This is a cycle. A cycle is anything that goes around in some sort of circle. The words circle and cycle are close. You will also see KWEL and an asterisk in front of it. This is a root word, and roots are studied in many different languages. If you want to search this root, you can put asterisk KWEL, and it will show you more words in English or in other languages that come from this same root. For now, we will just talk about the English words that we use when we combine our prefixes and our root words. It's important for you to know that there are root words, but for this video, we will mainly be talking about prefixes. If you want to study the roots also, this is how you look it up. A cycle goes around, and that means it starts where it ends. The letters of the English alphabet go from A to Z. That is not a cycle. They don't go in a cycle. What goes in a cycle? This is one kind of cycle. A chicken lays an egg. The egg breaks and the chick comes out. The chick grows into the chicken and the chicken then lays the egg. That is a cycle. This is the cycle of life. Life cycle. What is this cycle? Where does this cycle start? I don't know. Pick one. It starts at January, right? I guess. So it starts in the winter and it ends in the winter. We start in the winter. Number 2 is the spring. Number 3 is the summer. Number 4 is the fall. And then where do we go? Back to 1. Winter, spring, summer, fall is the year cycle. This is the cycle of the year. Water goes from on the ground or in your glass into the air. That's called evaporates. Water evaporates, goes into the air, then comes down as rain, and then again goes into the air. That is the cycle of water. This is the water cycle. We also have die. Die means to do this. To branch or to change can also be used as die. We have a lot of words that start with die, and it means to change into two different things. This is the root in the English word universe. One turn. If I turn all around and up and down, and if I turn all around and up and down in my mind, that is everything that can be. That's universe. If I use the word die with that, it is diverse, which means many different things. Diverge is what happens when one road changes into two roads. One road diverges from the main road. We might also use other words with verse. Veer means to turn sharply. Poly and multi both mean many. Think of the word one, mono, or same, and poly, monopoly. That means one company holds all of the different companies of that level. The prefix mono means same or one, and the prefix poly means many. We can put them together and it's monopoly. We also use the word multi very often to mean many. The prefixes poly and multi can both mean many. If we add multi to the idea of universe, we can say multiverse. And that is the idea that there's a universe and there might be another universe outside of that. Maybe if we make different choices, we have different universes we could be a part of. That is the idea of the multiverse. This is the root word ped. Ped can often be written in English as ped and can also be written in English as pod. These are pedals. What do you think ped means? This is a centipede. Centi here means many, but the prefix cent actually means 100. You might know it from the word century. 100 years. This animal is a centipede. It does not have 100, but it does have many. If you want to hold your gun, you might use a bipod. What does bi mean? What does pod mean? If you want to hold your camera up, you might use this. This is a tripod. How many pods does a tripod have? The root pod and ped mean foot, and we use that with bipod. 2 feet. Biped, humans are bipeds, which means walk on 2 feet. Dogs are quadrupeds. How many feet do they walk on? 4. What does the word quad mean? This is a list of all the other numbers up to 10. We also have poly and multi for many. We've also got cent for 100 or many. Com, con, and co are all prefixes that mean with. If you have a pilot of an airplane, that pilot also has a co-pilot. That is a person that helps the pilot fly the plane. The co-pilot can also pilot the plane. They pilot with each other. Co-pilot. Con and com are very often used when people talk to each other, like communicate. C-O-M is with. Con, co, and com are with. A, an, and in are without. The prefix a can be found on the word amoral. Moral means very concerned with what is good and what is right. That person is very moral. If another person is said to be amoral, it means they don't worry about right and wrong as much. They are amoral. You can find the prefix non to mean not in the word non-fat. This is non-fat yogurt. It means they take the fat out of milk before they make ice cream or yogurt. The prefix un means opposite or not. Unhappy means not happy. Unhappy means sad. The prefix d can mean undo or take it back. To provide money for something is to fund it. To take that money away is to defund it. Non means not. Un means opposite or not. De means undo or take it away. This is the root struct. Struct comes from an old word that means to spread or even to pile up. Structure. Structure means it holds up the walls, it holds up the house. We can add the prefix in to the root word struct and get the word instruct. And that means to build in someone's mind new knowledge. Instruct means teach. Construct means to build a building. Construct also means to use different things, put them together to make a new thing. We construct a building out of wood or bricks. We construct a sentence by using many words. Construct means build. Destruct is a word that means undo the structure, make it so that you can't use it anymore. Deconstruct, on the other hand, means to take something apart in a way that might be looked at closer or in a way that might be put together to a new thing. We might deconstruct an old house to save the old stairs or save the old doors or the doorknobs. All of these things we might want to use later. We would deconstruct that house. Construct, destruct, deconstruct. We can deconstruct what someone does and then think about what they were thinking. In the same way, we often try to deconstruct stories that we all know. Maybe there's a movie that everyone sees and it's very interesting. You will see different people try to say why the person who wrote the story wrote the things that they did. That is deconstructing the story. To deconstruct means to understand that we don't always know everything. We go back, we take it apart, we look at it again, and we see if we can put it back together again in a new way. This is a very important thing for anyone who would learn anything, but very important for someone who wants to learn English. Deconstruct what you know, look at it again and again, come back, see if it says the same thing. That is how we get better at using the tools that we already have. Go back and watch the old lesson again. Deconstruct it. You can also deconstruct the new things that you see. If you like what you see in the world, why did you like it? That is to deconstruct why you like something. Deconstruct is very important for anyone who wants to learn anything. We must learn to construct a new English sentence. We must think of a new idea. We must construct a new idea. We must then break that idea apart and test it. See if it makes sense. Look at it again in a new way. Talk about it with someone else and see if they have something wrong with it. That is how we deconstruct and find the best way to do things. We deconstruct and construct. Another way of saying this is break it down and build it up. That is the fundamental lesson of anyone who wants to learn to think in English. We need to break down our old understanding of English and let English build itself up in our minds. Shun changes a verb into a noun. Construct turns into construction. Destruct turns into destruction. And deconstruct turns into deconstruction. These are the noun forms of the verb. The prefix intra, in, en, and im all mean in or inside. Intravenous means in your vein. Enflame, flame is the fire. Enflame is to put something in the fire. Instruct means make structure inside the mind. I instruct. Import means bring something in. Per, pro, and para all mean for or forward. Para, though, is a special case. Para means forward, but we often use it to mean aside. So forward that it is aside. Two lines that never end and never touch are parallel. Para means side to side, but per and pro often mean forward or for. Being pro something is often for that thing. I am pro world peace. I want peace in the world, so I am pro world peace. I am pro dog and pro cat. I am pro animal. I love animals. I love dogs. I love cats. I am for them, so I say I am pro animal. While pro means for, anti or contra mean against. Contra is used very often to mean against. Anti is used even more. Before we are pro animal, I am pro dog or pro cat. Pro peace, I'm anti war. I'm anti-suffering. I'm anti-pain. These are things I am against. I don't want them to happen. So anti can mean against. The prefixes super, ultra, and hyper all mean above, while the prefixes sub, infra, and hypo all mean below. Something can be normal if it is average or expected. It is normal that the sun comes up in the morning, and it is normal that the sun goes down at night. Subnormal is below the average number. Supernormal is above the average number. Superman is better than other men, so he's Superman. Pre and ante mean before. The word prefix means stick it. Fix means stick something. Fix it onto the beginning is pre. Antique means a very old piece of furniture that maybe someone wants to buy or sell or keep. That is an antique. Post or meta mean after. Just like para was a special case, meta is also a very special case. Post and meta both mean after, but meta also means outside of. And we talked about the multiverse. If we have a universe outside of a universe, we have a metaverse. And that is also a thing that we hear about if we like to watch movies of a certain sort with superheroes. We talk about a metaverse in one place. We talk about a multiverse in another place. Pre and post mean before and after. Ante and meta also mean before and after. Meta means outside. If we want to think of a story, there is a story I saw in a movie of a man who knows he is in a book. This is known as a meta story. The idea that the person in the book knows that they're in a story is a meta idea. To have an idea outside the idea is meta. Meta also means between with another prefix inter. Inter means between, meta means between. You know the word inter from internet. The net is the thing that the fisherman uses to catch fish. In this idea, the net is the network. One computer talks to another computer, talks to another computer is a network. Internet is the network in between the network. It's all very meta, isn't it? The prefix re means again. We can reconstruct the building. We have many prefixes to work with. We have poly, multi, and centi that all can mean many. Centi, of course, means 100. Uni, bi, and tri mean 1, 2, and 3. Mono, di, and tri mean 1, 2, and 3. Mono can mean the same. Bi or di can mean different. Co, con, or com can mean with. A, an, or in can mean without. Non means not. Un means not or opposite. D means undo. Intra, in, an, and im all mean in. Per or pro mean for or forward, while contra, or anti mean against. Para means aside and beyond. Super, ultra, and hyper mean above. Sub, infra, and hypo mean below. Pre and ante mean before. Post and meta mean after, but meta also means outside. And re means again. I think you should write all of these down and practice your writing and your reading. It will help your mind remember the things you need to know. If you don't want to write it down, or if you want to see it, I will write all of these words in the description below. Remember that these prefixes can be used to change many words, that we will add the meaning of the prefix to the meaning of the word that we add it to. So that is your word bank. Those are the prefixes we're going to have to keep in mind. Let me ask you a question. Which of these words is about numbers? Is it multiply? Is it imply? Is it comply? Or is it apply? Which of these words is about numbers? Did you say multiply? You're right. Multi means many. To multiply is to say this number of times. 4 times 4 is 16. That is multiply. What word means to build again? I already said it. Do you remember what it was? Structure, construct, reconstruct. We can use many prefixes in a row. We can make one word that's only 2 prefixes. What word did I already talk about that was only 2 prefixes? Monopoly is 2 different prefixes. Normal means expected or average. What does supernormal mean? Supernormal means more than normal people could do. Is it supernormal to sleep 15 hours a night? Yes, that's supernormal. That's above normal. What is it if you sleep 6 hours a night or 5 hours a night? It's not supernormal. You're right, it's subnormal. What does paranormal mean? Remember, we had side to side. Para means side to side, like parallel lines. There's normal and then there's paranormal. Paranormal might be ghosts or strange things. Which of these is a trident? Yes, that is a trident. Tri means 3. What does dent mean? Dent means teeth. Trident. 3 teeth. What is this? This is a bident. 2 teeth. Which show is before the game? The pre-game show is before the game. Which show is after the game? The post-game show is after the game. Which door goes in? What does X mean? Yes, enter goes in. En is in. X is out. Exit is the door out. Enter, exit. Which word means to work with someone? Elaborate, belabor, collaborate, or laborious? That's right. Collaborate is with. Collaborate. Work with someone. We have learned many prefixes today, but there are many more to learn. There are also many word roots and suffixes, as well as idioms that I would love to teach you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can catch my next video. If you have followed along and if you have learned these prefixes with me, you have done a great job. You have taken a step towards getting from beginner level English all the way into advanced English. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. This is English Language with Teacher Nick. I'm Teacher Nick. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.